miss your plane.
Yeah. Start to a whole new life.
Deserve it.
Yes. And so do Marjorie and the kids. You must know, without the faith you had in me, in spite of the things you know, I don't think I ever would have been able to risk what I've been risking to get this divorce.
Well, you've been trapped in Philip's world since you were a kid. I want this to work out for you, Brock. I want to believe there's hope for all of us.
I'm going to make it work. Never would have done it without you.
Elliott, dear. Oh, listen now.
I've told you many times how you've changed my life. And I want you to know that starting tonight, I promise you'll never have to worry about my father hurting you again. I love you, Paul.
Well, what did you mean when you wrote, I promise you'll never have to worry about my father hurting you again?
I meant that I'd always protect her.
And what exactly did you mean when you signed the card, I love you, Paul?
Just that. I loved her.
And did your love for Miss Stewart ever embrace the sexual act between you?
Objection!
Your Honor, I am still searching for the passions that fueled the events in Emily Stewart's bedroom the night James Stenbeck was shot.
Not allowed to question. Objection overruled. The witness will answer.
Yes, it did.
Order in the court.
Was your father aware that you and Miss Stewart, his ex-mistress, were involved in a sexual relationship prior to his attacking her?
Yes. That's why he was trying to kill her.
Stewart, please! Stewart!
As the world turns.
Excuse me. Simply Barbara is supposed to be having a local show, and Olivia is nowhere to be found.
Don't worry,
Do we have a date? Do we have a place? Do we have...
Yes, we have the invitation.
Oh,
We have a date reserved to the
that's
Lakeview
snappy.
Towers, so
I like
not
that.
to worry.
Excellent. Makes me feel better. All right, we'll get the resort collection off with a bang, not a whimper, and I think the Lakeview is a good idea.
It's a great idea. People can see the Simply Barbara when they walk by. It's perfect.
Well, I obviously interrupted something. Carry on.
No,
Please, not at all. I was just saying goodbye.
Brock's going on vacation for a few days.
On vacation? You're
Yes.
leaving town in the middle of this Stenbeck trial? You're not going to stay with your lady love?
Well, fortunately, Emily's not going to be called to the stand anymore.
Yeah, it must have been very upsetting for her, all Benedict's innuendos about, you know, her relationship with Paul.
Yes, well, it's over.
I second that. The trial never should have occurred. The boy did the world a favor.
I agree.
Brock, you're going to be late.
Yes, take care of Emily for me.
I will try.
Thank you for everything. Goodbye, Mrs. Walsh. It's nice seeing you again.
I'm intrigued. I'm fascinated. Was that the man that you nearly had a nervous breakdown over because I was going to do some work with him and you were going to quit and now you're your buddies?
Yeah, well, we came to an understanding.
Well, you see, ex-lovers sometimes make the best friends.
I think so. So what can I do? Do you need anything else?
No, this is just fine. I like it. If you see Olivia, have her call me. Has Craig heard anything from Judge Briggs?
I don't know. We're really not rushing anything, Lucinda, so...
Very wise, darling. Being a stepmother is no bowl of cherries. And Sierra will always be Craig's first love.
Caleb, it's one thing to play at being a mother and a wife. Actually being one is something else altogether. I'm just not sure I'm ready. Ellie Snyder.
Oh, hello there, beautiful. Listen, I was hoping we could have some lunch later, but unless Sean gets back, I gotta hold down the fort. Emily had some kind of emergency. I don't know. Brock was in here about 20 minutes ago, said something to her, and she took off.
Easy, hon. Just think of Paul.
I am thinking of Paul. She's destroyed him and his future.
Calm down, Barbara. Just not going to make it any easier for Paul on the stand.
Would you tell the court how your father became aware of your relationship with Miss Stewart?
Well, I wrote some letters to Emily that she wanted to return to me, so she put them in an envelope with a card to go with the watch she was giving me.
The night you shot your father?
Yes. He found them and he read them. I guess he broke in through the terrace door.
Would you describe these letters as personal?
Yes, I wanted Emily to understand how I felt.
And how did you feel?
I loved her.
We now know at last why James Stenbeck attacked Miss Stewart.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained, the jury will ignore Mr. Benedict's supposition as to the motive for the attack.
Did Miss Stewart tell you what your father said to her as he attacked her?
Not specifically. He said that he called her all sorts of ugly names and accused her of seducing me, but it wasn't anything
Just
like
answer
that.
the questions, please. Now, how did you become involved in the struggle between your father and Miss Stewart?
When I got to the door, I heard Emily screaming, so I let myself in.
So, you had a key to Miss Stewart's condo?
Yes, from when I was looking over her apartment.
And she never asked for the key back?
I was going to give it to her that night.
I see. Well, what happened when you got inside?
Well, I started for the bedroom when I saw one of the letters I had written on the sofa, so I knew what was going on. And then I remembered the gun that I had given Emily.
Your stepfather's service revolver?
Yes. I went and I got the gun and I ran into the bedroom where I found my father strangling Emily. I yelled for him to stop. He did for a second when he saw me. But then Emily went for the phone and he grabbed her and he hit her real hard. I yelled again, but he wouldn't stop. He was gonna kill her, and that's when I fired the gun.
3 times?
I don't know. I was just trying to stop him from killing Emily.
Your lover?
Objection!
Your Honor, the defendant has admitted sleeping with Emily Stewart, who clearly perjured herself on the stand.
The prosecutor will refrain from putting words in the defendant's mouth. Objection sustained, and the jury will disregard Mr. Benedict's characterization of Miss Stewart as the defendant's lover.
What happened next?
Well, we were both in shock. It was quite obvious that my father was dead. I wanted to call the police right away, but Emily stopped me. My letters were scattered all over the floor. We had to destroy them.
Why?
Because Emily said that people wouldn't understand what happened between us.
So you burned the letters in the bathroom sink?
Yes. But first, a man named Foley came to the door. Brock Lombard had sent him over to watch over Emily.
And did you tell him what happened?
No. We just got rid of him. And then we burned the letters and washed the ashes down the drain.
What happened next?
Well, we thought that maybe my father had put some of the letters in his briefcase, so we tried to get it open, but we couldn't. And that's when Emily suggested that I call my lawyer, Jessica Griffin. So I did, but she wasn't there, and I left a message. She called back almost immediately. And then I called the police and explained what had happened.
Leaving out the part about the letters.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Stenbeck, thank you. We now have a clear picture of the passions that were at work in Emily Stewart's bedroom the night of the shooting. No further questions.
enough's enough. I want to know what's really going on. What has got John so upset that he has to leave town?
Oh, you know what's going on. He's decided to file for divorce. Hey, Duke.
Hey, how are you? How are your classes?
Oh, they were okay, but having your van was great.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Rosie giving you any trouble?
No, Rosie sails. Oh, except when you get up to 50, that's when her rear end vibrates. You should have that
50. I
checked.
told you not to take her over 45.
Oh, come on, it just snuck up on me.
No, it doesn't sneak up on you.
Don't worry, I didn't break any speed limits. Besides, I took the long way so I could get Rosie out on the highway, where I really opened her up.
Yeah,
Oh, it was
maybe
great.
I should get you a motorcycle helmet to go with that jacket of yours.
You know, come to think of it, there are a lot of kids on campus with motorcycles.
Whoa, hey, come on, I'm only kidding, huh? Besides, it's gonna be Snow City around here soon, you know?
Yeah, I guess. Oh, Duke, I've got to save up money. After driving Rosie, I've got to have my own wheels. You know, you just feel so trapped otherwise.
Look, you are welcome to use my van anytime you want, okay?
Oh, well, thank you, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
I want my own wheels.
Okay, well, why do I feel I'm gonna be in more trouble with the DA?
Oh, no, you're
Hey,
not.
hi.
Hi,
Dr. Bob.
Father. How is the trial going?
Well, I'm expecting a full report. Kim is there. Andy's going to testify.
Oh, boy. Do you want to go over?
If you don't mind waiting, I've got about another half hour left.
Okay, sure. Oh, hi.
Hey there.
Hi, Bob.
Susan?
Have you heard from your dad?
Actually, you know, this is the first time since I realized he was my dad that I couldn't find a way to get in touch with him. Kind of worries me.
Yeah, me too.
Is Emily in court?
No, she's decided to stay away from court because of what Benedict's been trying to imply.
Why? What is he implying?
Tell you later.
Okay, well, since you're still on duty, I'm going to go and find Lila and say goodbye to her before she leaves Boston, okay?
Okay.
Franny!
Hi, Dad.
Hey!
Hi.
Why didn't you tell me you were coming home? The red carpet's at the cleaners.
Well, I am shocked that you don't have it all ready to roll out. You didn't think I was going to miss a huge Thanksgiving now, did you?
No.
Leanne, hi. You look great.
Oh, thank you. So do you. I'm so glad you're back.
Yeah, it's so good to see you. Yeah.
That's Franny, huh?
Yeah, Bob's daughter.
Yeah, I heard a lot about her, but no one told me she was so easy on the eyes.
I'm pretty cheerful.
Yes, well, I've arranged for Barbara's new line to be previewed at the Mona Lisa, and I have to interview the models. Love your work, and you shall be truly blessed, my son.
Keep one foot on the floor at all times, my son.
The Oakdale agency is sending over some possibilities this afternoon.
Keep your expectations low. You may have to go to Chicago to really enjoy these interviews. The Oakdale girls are okay for catalog, but...
They're dogs. Is that what you're telling me here?
Well, wait a minute now. Would I use that word? Yes. No. No, come on. I mean, we have our share of beauties. They're just not very interested in modeling, that's all.
Well, that's disappointing. Emily back yet?
I haven't seen her since she ran out of here.
I'll tell you, I wonder what Brock said to her to make her so upset.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I hardly know the guy, but I don't know, I'm not quite sure I trust him.
I just hope he's being straighter with her than he was with Elliott, that's all.
Mum's the word, Baxter. Enemy is breached on defense.
Enemy? Enemy? What's he talking about?
You know Sean Baxter, don't you?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, that's
Good
right,
to
you
see
do. Yeah, Ambrose tried to hire him
Well,
for you.
we talked about it.
Yeah?
Really, I'm so glad it's all in the family and that you found yourself a nice niche here in this little organization.
Me too. If you'll excuse me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So, to what do we owe the honor of this visit?
I'm here as a petitioner. I would like on Thanksgiving to have something to be thankful for. A little time with my grandson.
Brian's going to be spending Thanksgiving at the Snyder Farm, and you were invited there.
I
So
know
why don't
that
you come?
because I just can't. It's too hard on my poor old eyes to see Sierra's child with Ellie.
You better get used to it.
I just come from the little chat I had with Ellie in the privacy of her office.
Well, that's good. She does work for you.
When I entered the privacy of her office, she was in the arms of Brock Lombard.
That won't work, Bibbs.
I'm just telling you
They're
what
friends.
I saw.
It's okay.
Oh, look, I'm just thinking this through. This man was the man that just a few short months ago she was so terrified of.
They've settled all their differences.
Well, do you know what those differences
Yes,
were?
and it's none of your business.
Well, I wish I knew what they were.
I'm in love with Ellie, and we trust... Why are you worrying about Elliott and me? Why don't you go off and try to reconcile with John?
Well, why would I want to do that?
Well, because he's in love with you, isn't he?
I don't even know where he is.
What does that mean?
He's gone away someplace to think.
With Susan?
No, this time he's going without her.
Listen, you're a fighter. Why aren't you fighting? You know, Susan wouldn't stand a chance if you didn't leave the field wide open.
He's filing for divorce.
I'm sorry. Look, I'll arrange some time for you to spend with Bryant, okay?
I appreciate that
Good.
very much. Darling, John doesn't appreciate me. I don't understand the man. Why would I fight for that?
You know, I don't pretend to understand why, but you and John are in love with each other. Why don't you try to stop this divorce while you still can?
Because I don't have the stomach for it. Thank you about Bryant. I'm late. I got a meeting with Marlowe. I don't like the way the City Times is handling Paul Stenbeck's trial.
Well, we could always bring Paul back for redirect.
And open him up to Benedict again? I don't think so. I think there's only one thing we can do at this point, so I better just run it by Paul. Paul.
Jess, I know that I lied to you, and I'm very sorry, and I'll understand if you want to drop the case now.
Wait a minute. Let's just get something straight right now. I'm angry, and I'm disappointed. But I'm your lawyer and your friend, and I'm going to clear you of these charges, but I can't do it alone. So let's just quit apologizing and get to work.
The problem is we're in a quandary after what you admitted on the stand.
That's why I called a short recess. We've got to defuse Benedict's case that this was a crime of passion.
Can I testify anymore?
To what end?
Well, I can explain to the jury exactly what happened. It was one night with Emily, and Benedict's making it sound so dirty. It wasn't like that.
Well, the problem is that that would allow Benedict to question you again. You said you loved Emily. Did you mean it?
Yes.
Would you have slept with her again if she would have allowed it? I'm just saying that that's what Benedict would ask you.
You see, Paul, Benedict is trying to obscure the whole case with the sexual issue, when it's really about you trying to save somebody's life and what was going on in your mind at the time.
I'm the only one out there who knows the whole truth, and they won't believe me.
Well, Hank Elliott could testify to that. I put in a couple calls to him, but your mom says that Charles is in a coma.
Yeah, we couldn't ask Hank to come here all the way from New York now. It's just not a good time.
Okay. We can put you on the stand and take our chances with Benedict, or you can trust me to make the same points in my summation. It's up to you.
I trust you.
Good. Do you want to talk to Hal and your mom?
No, I can't face them now. I saw my mom's face after my testimony.
Look, Paul, you're only guilty of one thing, and that's withholding information from your lawyer. Now, that may be bad judgment, but it's not a crime. So when we go back in that courtroom, I want your head held high. You persuade yourself you're innocent, and it'll make it easier for me to persuade the jury.
I have got to talk to Paul.
Hun, he's with his lawyers. We're trying to put together a strategy to deal with the impression that Benedict's created.
But Hal, when he looked at me, I could not look at him. I couldn't look at my own son.
There'll be time to explain all that later, hun, but not now.
God, I could strangle Emily.
What's happening? I'm not allowed inside.
Paul took the stand.
But why? What can he say to them? He's been lied to by that Stewart woman and by his mother, just like they lied to his father.
Mrs. Aldrin, your refusal to see your son James for what he really was may just put your grandson in jail.
Paul and Emily, I can hardly believe it.
I know, but I really don't think that we have heard the whole story yet.
Poor Barbara.
Well, at least when I found out about Andy and Julie, it wasn't in front of a packed courtroom.
I just hope Jessica's able to counteract Paul's testimony. Boy, that Benedict, he was very persuasive with that crime of passion stuff.
Looks like your instincts were right.
Small consolation, this is going to hurt Paul.
It's damaging testimony, but Paul came off as calm and honest, and that's going to help.
And what about Emily? She's got a lot to answer to after this trial.
Question about that.
What's happening, Mr. Self?
Yeah, that's right, Joe. He took the stand. Yep, he admitted he slept with his dad's mistress.
Paul's in trouble, isn't he?
Don't worry, Jessica's going to put it in the proper perspective.
I feel sorry for Emily. People are always ready to think the worst.
All your lies about James being a bad father. What kind of mother
Why don't you get lost? Come on.
Court will resume. Please move inside.
Now remember, chin up, head high.
Don't trust her, Paul. She'll betray you like the others.
I think we're going to get a conviction.
Do you think she's going to put him back on the stand?
I hope so. I'm ready for him and for anybody else she wants to call.
All rise.
Be seated, please. Court is now in session. Ms. Griffin, do you wish to redirect?
No, Your Honor. At this time, the defense will...
Hank!
Your Honor, at this time, the defense calls Mr. Hank Elliott.
We will continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
So I went by the house before I came here, but nobody was there except for Chris and the sitter. He has gotten so big.
Well, he turned 3 last September. I tell you, there's no stopping him.
Oh, and you should see Adam. He is so big, too. He's great.
I can't wait to see everybody. Is Kim at the studio? I'll run by.
No, she's at Paul's trial.
Oh, right. Of course. You know, Casey told me all about Montega. I just wish that the news had been different. I would really like to see Craig.
Yeah. I know you and Sierra were very close.
I can't believe that she's not here anymore.
I know.
Hey, Duke. Oh. Come over here. I want you to meet my daughter, Franny.
Hi there. Hello.
Hi.
I've heard a lot about you from Andy.
Yes, and I have heard a lot about you, too. So I guess you're just a regular family member now, huh?
Yeah, well, my landlord here, he's an okay guy. Hasn't raised my rent much since living there. Just can't wait for Thanksgiving at the Hugheses.
Yeah, you know, it's the best.
Yeah, well, I think we have to get going to the courthouse. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, well, maybe I'll stop by later.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll definitely see you later.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
See you.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, gosh. Dad, it's really wonderful to be home. Do you think I could borrow the car?
Some things just never change. Come on, I'll get you the keys.
Thanks.
Hello, Sean. It's Susan Stewart. Could I speak to Emily, please? Oh, never mind. She just walked in. Bye.
Hi.
What is it? What's the matter?
Mom, I gotta leave Oakdale.
What? What? Tell me.
Just put Paul on the stand and Benedict asked him the same questions that he asked me. Everything came out.
Oh, Emily.
Good.
Is that Florida down there?
No. I think that's probably Indiana. We've only been in the air about 10 minutes.
How much longer then?
Well, it's going to be a little while longer. Greg, would you help Denise show her how to use her headphones?
Do I have to? Do I have to? Oh, okay. Plug it in.
What's the matter?
That man, he looks familiar. He could be following us.
Well, that would be interesting. He's a linebacker for the Chicago Bears, does an aftershave commercial. Will you relax?
This has been such a horrible day. Philip kept asking me questions. I just want it to be over.
Well, it's going to be over soon. 2.5 hours, we'll be in the Dominican Republic. The papers are ready. We'll just sign them.
Yeah, and then what?
And then we'll just take it one step at a time. And we'll outwit the old fox and be free.
I'm afraid for the children.
He'll never do anything to the children. Come on, cheer up. We're on our way to freedom.
I want it to work out for you, Brock. I want to believe there's hope for all of us.
Well, I'm gonna make it work. But I never could have done it without you.
Did I just hear your stomach growling?
You did. Hi.
Hi.
I haven't had a chance to eat. I've been working on Simply Barbara all day. We got the Lakeview.
Oh, wow, stop, time out, stop. Let's not forget that here we are rivals, okay? I just left in my office Sean working on something for Barbara Ryan Originals. It's going to bury.
Oh, yeah?
Yes,
Not
it
a
is.
chance.
Any word from Kirk on this mystery assistant guy?
No, I have a great idea.
What?
Let's have lunch in the executive dining room so they can page me there.
Okay. I just hope we don't run into Lucinda again.
What do you mean again?
Oh, well, she dropped into my office earlier.
She dropped by to tell you that Brock was here earlier, didn't she?
Bingo. That's right. Don't worry about it. I told her to worry about her own marriage and not worry about the future Mrs. Montgomery.
I love you.
I love you. Honey, what is it?
My blood sugar. I think it dropped. I think I need to eat. I really, really need to eat. Let's go eat. I need food.
I didn't know anyone initially. I just came here to work for Paul's mother and help her develop a new line. Paul made me feel very welcome, despite the fact that he's pretty much a loner. And as our friendship grew, he opened up a lot.
Did he ever talk to you about why he was such a loner?
He said he was constantly being judged for what his father did.
So he discussed his father with you?
Quite a lot. He told me what James had done to him and to his mother, and he was very worried that James might come back and try and take him away again.
He was afraid of his father.
Objection. Defense is asking the witness to speculate.
Sustained.
All right, Mr. Elliott, let's go back to the events of March 20th of this year and the weeks that immediately preceded it. Was Paul confiding in you then?
No, we'd had a misunderstanding.
Would you tell the court in your own words what happened on March 20th?
Barbara, Paul's mother, was debuting a new fashion line in New York. I was there along with Paul and his stepfather. Shortly before the show, I went to Ms. Ryan's suite and found Leanne Hughes there, very upset. She was convinced that Paul had had a call from his father and was on his way to meet him.
Did you go after Paul?
Yes, he'd left a map with a downtown heliport circled on it. I went there and caught up with him just after James Stenbeck had arrived by helicopter. Paul swore he was only going to talk to his father, but I was convinced that James Stenbeck was planning to kidnap him.
Objection. The witness is speculating.
Sustained.
All right, would you please tell the court what happened once you arrived at the heliport?
I argued with Paul, and he pushed me away and ran towards his father. Then he saw that his father wasn't alone. A man named Glenn Harrington was there. Paul demanded to know what Harrington was doing there. He knew that Harrington was the murderer. I had time to catch up, and James pulled a gun. Paul begged him not to shoot, but he did. And the bullet caught me in the chest.
Were you able to hear or see anything more?
There was a struggle. I heard gunshots. I heard James begging Paul to come with him, but Paul just kept yelling, "You're a killer. You're a killer." Then I heard sirens and the helicopter taking off. Then I passed out.
When did you see Paul next?
Oh, he was in the hospital. He stayed the whole time I was there. Hardly ever left my side.
Did you talk about what happened?
Yes. He said he was never really convinced about the stories of his father. And the moment he saw his father kill Glenn Harrington and shoot at me, well, he was convinced his father was a cold-blooded killer.
Objection. Hearsay.
Your Honor, it confirms an attitude expressed by the defendant himself on the stand.
Objection overruled.
Thank you. No further questions.
You may cross-examine, Mr. Benedict.
Mr. Elliott, you've given us a very touching story about friendship and loyalty. And in spite of your quarrel with the defendant, you put yourself in jeopardy to protect him.
I cared about Paul. I still do.
But you had a quarrel.
I didn't say quarrel. I said misunderstanding.
Well, I stand corrected. What was this misunderstanding about, Mr. Elliott?
I'm gay. I made the mistake of not telling Paul that. So when he found out, he felt like I was lying to him. He felt I betrayed him.
Would you describe your effort to rescue Paul as an act of love?
Your Honor, I object to this entire line of questioning and the insinuation behind it.
I'd like to answer that if I may.
Counselor?
Fine.
All right. Mr. Elliott, you may answer the question.
Yeah, it was an act of love. But not in the sense that you're implying. I've had a long-term relationship with a man in New York for 5 years. And right now, he's dying of AIDS in New York. I came here on behalf of a friend to testify. And if you want to make an issue of that, that is an act of love, too.
Well, what can I say, Courtney? You're leaving your big brother stranded for Thanksgiving in a strange town, eating turkey with people I hardly know. Oh, by the way, that friend you're staying the Thanksgiving with, is that a girl? Yeah? You sure? And what's her name?
Uh-huh. And her folks' phone number? Uh-huh. And you're gonna give me a call when you get there?
Well, because I'm your big brother and I worry about you. Oh, why the hell did you give Gail my number? Yes, I know you can't stand her, but I told you not. Come in. Look, I gotta go. Now, if you're in New York over the holidays and you decide to give Gail a call again, just don't, okay? Yeah, okay, I'll talk to you on Turkey Day. Okay, bye-bye. Well, why don't you take off your coat and turn around?
What?
I'm not asking you for a pirouette or anything. I know you're local, but I assume you do know how to make a simple turn.
Yeah.
That's great. Look, I'd like to see your composites and tell me you have something in a swimsuit.
Well, actually, I don't have any composites, but I do have some shots in a suit. Cape Cod. Vacation.
Snapshots. Well, I was told not to expect professionalism. Well, these aren't bad. No, he's got a great body. What is it, 36, 24, 35?
Obviously an experienced eye.
Well, no, actually, I'm new at this end of the fashion business, but I'll tell you, you're just a lot more than I expected.
Oh, what did you expect?
Well, my boss implied that the local models were provided by the kennels, so...
Kennels?
Well, I mean, you know, you got a great look. I mean, you can go far in this business. You got to get rid of these pigs, but,
So your boss thinks that all the local girls are dogs, huh?
Well, no, I mean, he just implied... Obviously, he has not seen you.
Oh, yeah, he has.
Yeah.
I just might have to have a word or two with Mr. Montgomery.
I think the less said, the better. Look, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you got the job, and we put you in a BRO swimsuit. You steal the show.
Wait a minute.
Well, I'm serious.
No, listen. I'm not a model. I am an old friend of Craig's.
You're not from the Oakdale agency?
No. Or from a kennel.
Oops. Well, I guess I'm in the doghouse. If you'll excuse me.
No, really. I'm not offended. After all, I took advantage of your mistake.
Yeah, go ahead, soften the blow. Come on, I can take it.
I'm flattered. Really.
Well, you would look great in Miss Ryan's designs.
Yeah, I've worn them all my life. Barbara's my half-sister.
She's your half... Well, I guess I've blown any chance of a personal recommendation from you, huh?
I'd love to, if I knew your name.
Sean Baxter, and you are,
Franny Hughes. Nice to meet you.
Now, you know, I hope our fashion show doesn't put you out of business here and get you lose your job, but don't worry if it does. I got enough money I can cover you while you look for work.
Yeah, I was just thinking how lucky you are to have that second career at the Mona Lisa. It just may keep you out of the unemployment
yes,
line.
we're having a fun repartee here, aren't we?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hey, Sally. Have you heard from Kirk? All right. Thank you.
What?
Oh, not a word, not a word.
Okay. Well, just call me when you get your schedule, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go take Mama and Kate to the airport, and I'm gonna get Bryant, and I'm gonna go home, start a fire in the fireplace, pour 2 glasses of wine, slices of cheese, get naked. What do you think?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You are in here. Selkirk just called in. He's covering the trial for us.
What is it, a conviction?
Jessica Griffin put Paul Stenbeck on the stand under cross-examination. He admitted to sexual intimacies with your partner, Emily Stewart.
One final question, Mr. Elliott. Would you describe the defendant as a passionate young man?
Objection. Mr. Benedict's leading the witness.
I'll rephrase the question. How would you describe the defendant?
Paul's a very compassionate young man who would do anything in his power to protect the people he loves.
No further questions.
Miss Griffin, redirect.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Elliott. You may step down. Call your next witness, please.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense rests.
Very well. Mr. Benedict, are you prepared to begin your summation at this time?
I am, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Here you are, Mr. Lombard.
Thank you. Do you think there's any way we could have a couple of future astronauts up to see the cockpit?
Oh, I think that can be arranged.
That's great.
Do you want to come with me?
I'll go with them.
Thanks. Sean, hi. This is Brock Lombard. Is Emily there, please?
She's not in right now. You want me to leave her a message?
Yeah, tell her I'll call her as soon as I land, and, tell her that I love her.
Right, I'll do that.
Here you go. Thanks. Thanks for taking time off. I appreciate it.
Look, I'm trying not to judge you, but I really don't understand. I mean, I understand about the circumstances, you explain that, but Paul is just the kid, and you must have known that people would judge you.
Well, we promised that this would never come out.
Secrets have a way of coming out. You told Brock. Didn't you think that Paul was ever going to tell anybody? I just don't understand why you let it go that far.
Then you don't understand the pain that we were feeling that night.
I guess not. Look, I am on your side. I hope you understand that.
Well, I can't stay in Oakdale. That's for sure.
Well, it is embarrassing. But it only happened once.
It doesn't matter. You know how people are going to treat me.
What do you think possessed him to admit it?
I think it happened when Brock went to talk to him at the courthouse, and he let it slip that he knew about the whole situation. Paul evidently felt betrayed by me.
I hate to bring this up, you know. You better talk to Jessica. You could be facing a perjury charge.
I can't think about that right now, Mom. God, I saw the looks on the jury's faces. They could find Paul guilty. How am I ever going to live with myself if that happens?
So what was it that caused this passionate young man to aim a pistol at his father and fire it 3 times? If you've kept those 3 shots in mind, ladies and gentlemen, surely you'll agree that there were more to Paul Stenbeck's actions than just an attempt to protect Miss Stewart's life. Now, the defense has tried to obscure the facts. And their star witness has committed perjury, but in spite of this, the truth has emerged. Paul Stenbeck was in love with Emily Stewart. This highly emotional young man with his volatile temper arrived at his lover's condo and heard her arguing with his father. He seized the gun that he himself had given her and raced to the bedroom where he found her in his father's arms. Now, he claimed he feared for her life. But knowing, as we now do, the emotions that were working in Paul Stenbeck that night, isn't it far more likely that Paul, seeing his lover in his father's arms, saw not a potential killer, but a rival? After all the indignities suffered at this father's hand, wasn't this the final one, to lose the woman he loved to the man he hated most in all the world? Jealousy, ladies and gentlemen. Jealousy, anger, and hatred fired those 3 shots. Not an attempt to protect, but a desire to kill. It was an act of passion that left Mr. Stenbeck dead on Emily Stewart's bedroom floor. And the state of Illinois says that anyone responsible for a death prompted by sudden, intense passion is guilty of murder in the 2nd degree. And that is why I'm sure that when you've finished with your deliberations, you will have no choice but to find Paul Stenbeck guilty as charged.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of these CBS stations. Christie Brothers. Join us tomorrow for As the World Turns. This is CBS.